Hi guys, today we are going to do a set of alphabet molds with the raindrop, dewdrop, however you want to call it, method. And at the end we will turn a couple of them into keychains just for anybody that hasn't seen that process. I am using all the HTVRont supplies. I'm going to use the black pigment that they sent me. They're having their big spring sale, so there's some good deals to be had. I'm going to use all of the Chameleon powders that were in the pack. So I feel like these are all somewhat similar in color to look at the packaging, but hopefully once they have the black behind them, they will pick up the flash from the other colors. You can see it when you tip them, the green. So, and then I did order myself, because they couldn't send it as a sample, I ordered their epoxy resin kit from Amazon. At the time I ordered this, it did have a coupon available. So, it says epoxy resin, epoxy art resin, tumblers, blah, blah, blah. So it should be fine to use this on tumblers. This is a kit, so it comes with the chintzy gloves. It comes with 2 harder plastic measuring cups in 60 ml size, which is nice because I don't have anything 60 ml. And then the part A and the part B. And then it has a whole bunch of super long stir sticks. Blah, blah, blah. We already know how to do all that. So, I'm sure I'm in frame. I have my UV lamp ready to go. I'm going to make smaller droplets in these because this is obviously a smaller mold. So what I'm going to do is put some of my UV resin, and this is UV resin that HTVRont sent me a while ago. But I'm just going to put a little bit in a cup. And I'm going to use these dotting tools that I have. These are the 2 I'm going to primarily use. I'm going to start on this side of the mold. That way I can kind of cure as I go along. But I'm just going to dip in and make my dots this way. That way none of them are too enormous since this is a relatively small mold. And I did clean this out with tape before, but I see I just got some debris in my letter G. So I'm going to clean that out quick. Actually, that's my letter Q, excuse me. And I'm going to go ahead and run the full alphabet. Typically when I do my keychain letters, there's letters I'll skip because they're not as popular. And I don't necessarily need to stock them like the Q and the Z. But I think in this case, we'll just go ahead and run the entire set. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start these ones curing. And I'm just going to keep working my way down. These next letters will probably cure a little bit with the first batch, but that's fine. Okay, so these should be good. If when you unmold them, you find a sticky spot on the opposite side, just go ahead and flip it over and put it back under your UV lamp, and it should finish curing anything that didn't quite cure. I did mix up 100 mLs of resin, and I am going to not really have any great rhyme or reason to how I apply these. If they mix and blend in different ones, I don't really care. I'm just going to use one brush, and I'm just going to dip the brush in. And you're going to want to be somewhat gentle. You don't want to overdo it too much. But you do want to try and get up the sides. I don't really want to pick the tray up or the molds up and dump them, because I don't want to dislodge my little beads. Because remember, nothing really truly likes to stick to silicone. Wow, this is a beautiful color out of the bag. Holy moly. This one is supposed to be the green and the red. I think the purple, blue, and red. And this one is green, blue, and purple. But I think the blue is going to be the least standout color of any of it. This red, orange, yellow. So here's the epoxy. It is fairly thick, but again, it's quite cold in here, so I can't really judge. I did open this up, and apparently I left it sitting here open. So I'm just going to put, and this is a thinner dye. I was hoping that this was thicker than the obsidian, but it doesn't appear to be. But it does appear really, really black, so yay. Terrific. And now we have a glorious black epoxy. The chameleons are going to be most striking against a black. That's why we're going with black. And I'm going to start filling and see how many I get filled. So I'm going to get the rest of it filled, and then we will come back and get it unmolded once they are all set up. Okay, so I'm getting gloves on. I am a little leery of how these are going to demold. They're still quite soft. The resin was extremely cold when I poured it. The room was extremely cold. and these are still quite bendy. There's really not any reason for them to be bendy at this point other than the cold. I didn't put too much pigment in them or anything like that. So I'm going to get them out of the mold, set them here so I can put them someplace a little bit warmer. They should still come out of the mold just fine, which is good because I actually ended up with a lot more flash than I thought now that I'm looking at them again. So it'll make it easier to get that off. But we'll take them out, we'll look at them. They're very cool looking. At least the A is. Of them, because these are still so soft. And again, it's a new resin. I mean, I don't know, it might need just a longer time with the pigments in it. But these are going to be so easy just for me to go through and trim the flash. Hopefully these will cure and serve that purpose. Okay, so I just want to wrap this up relatively quickly. These did sit for a couple more days, and they were rock hard within 24 hours. So the epoxy is absolutely fabulous. It's just a slower curing epoxy, especially with that much pigment in it. Not a big deal at all. They do get absolutely rock hard. Supposed to have a very high heat rating, so I wouldn't have any problem putting these in a purse or anything like that in the heat of summer. But I just want to real quick go over the basic supplies you need to finish off a keychain. I don't particularly like the actual chain part of a keychain. I prefer something that's much more solid and fixed. Personal preference. Use the chain bits if you want, take them off if you don't want. I also prefer a split ring, which is like a mini keychain, to the jump rings that these come with. To me, jump rings just pull apart and you have to put a lot more force on a split ring to get it to open up. So, absolutely personal preference, use what you want. But I like to finish mine off with just the letter and a tassel. I buy these by the 100 off of Amazon or TEMU or whatever. This one's actually 250 pieces. This pack came from Amazon. The ones that are left in here came from TEMU. They're the exact same thing. So I will get links to those on Amazon down below. So I like to use a little head pin with the little loop at the top in the letter, and then I have assorted sizes of the split rings. Those I buy in bulk. Same thing, Amazon, TEMU, whatever. This is a big pack from Amazon. I'm starting to get low again, so I'm going to have to restock some of this stuff. Keychain blanks you can buy by the hundreds also. This I will actually put a clip on because when I'm doing them without the chain, I prefer the clip, which also makes some great backpack tags. This is a more substantial hook than this little ring, but I mix and match whatever I happen to order at any given time is what I use. So, to do a basic one, I like to put the head pin in first. Because I didn't do these soft, I did drill a hole in it. To drill my holes in these, I use this little tiny Drill Master hand drill from Harbor Freight. I'm not going to do one on camera because it's noisy. It did come with a drill bit tiny enough for this purpose, so that's about the only thing I use that drill for still. but I love it. I prefer to use a pair of circular jewelry pliers because you can put the head pin right over the circle and get a good grip on it that way. If you don't drill the hole, you're going to get frustrated and you're going to find you're sitting here snapping these in half over and over and over again. So that is all I do for prep there. And then I put a split ring on. Use whatever size split rings you want, or jump rings. Like I said, I prefer a split ring. These are jewelry size split ring pliers. I do believe I have a link for Amazon to a pair of these, but that opens it up to get it started. And then I just have regular little jewelry pliers. I do recommend, if you're going to be making keychains, that you have a basic jewelry making kit of some sort. You can use regular needle nose, whatever. And then I will grab my tassel and I'll put a split ring on there also. There's my two pieces. Here's my hook. And I'll just use one of these little circle ones. This pair of split ring pliers is from Bass Pro Shop. It is for fishing. But I like it for manipulating the keychains themselves because it's just easier to open everything all up. And just feed all your parts on. I'm going to remember my clip on this one. I mean, these aren't necessary, but they're helpful for me especially. And there you have it. Just your cute, simple keychain. Obviously, if you wanted your tassel on the other side, put it on the other side. But that is how I will be finishing these off. Picking out a tassel that kind of matches and stringing them together. So that is it for this one. All HTVRont products, everything should be currently on sale on their website, and the link should be down below. So that is it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the process. I do think these were very cool, and I will see you in the next one.